Also new this morning, a 15-year-old boy is facing charges after police say he shot at Gresham-Barlow School District buses that were on the way to pick up students. Fox 12's Deborah Gill is live this morning from outside of Gordon Russell Middle School with the details of what happened. So, Deb, first of all, was anyone hurt in all of this?
No, Gresham police tell us the buses were empty and the bus drivers were not hurt either. It happened yesterday afternoon in this area of Southeast Powell Valley Road and Kane Drive near Gordon Russell Middle School. Police say the calls came in at around 2:30 yesterday afternoon that someone had shot windows on multiple buses with a pellet gun. Some may think of pellet guns as more like a toy, but they can do serious damage and cause serious injury. Police say the pellets hit 7 buses, damaging 3 windshields and 4 side windows. The buses were on their way to pick up students, so none were on board yet. Police say they identified a 15-year-old suspect, and when they talked to him, say he admitted to shooting the school bus windows. Officers then took the boy to Donald E. Long Juvenile Detention Center, Northeast Portland, to face criminal mischief charges. No word from the district if he is a student in the district or from police if he admitted to why he would shoot the buses. Police say they partner with Safe Oregon to give kids, parents, and anyone in the community a way to report any safety threat or potential act of violence. You can do it confidentially and anonymously with a call, text, or email. We'll bring you updates, of course, as we learn more about this. Reporting live in Gresham, Deborah Gill. Good day, Oregon.